This is Tony Poulos at TM Forum's Management World event in Dublin 2011. I'm here today with Colm Long, who is the Director of Operations for Europe, Middle East and Africa for Facebook. Colm, welcome.
Thanks very much.
It's really fantastic having somebody from Facebook to talk to in the flesh, because we're so much connected via the internet these days, we tend to forget the one-on-one.
Yeah.
How important is it for people these days to connect and communicate through Facebook as part of their daily lives?
Yeah, well, I think it's becoming increasingly important for people. If you think about where Facebook started, it was really this, website that was created on college campus, initially on Harvard, and then kind of spread throughout all of the US. And it was really about discovering people who had similar interests and likes than you did, and might be on a course that's sort of adjacent to yours, and just people you want to meet socially or academically. So that was kind of the inception, and really what it's become today is sharing still based on those principles. But what you see now is the fastest growing demographic on Facebook is actually 35 plus. If you look at most of our mature markets, actually, the split across demographics is actually pretty even, which tells us that it's not just about college kids certainly anymore. It's not even just about young people anymore, but people for all sorts of different reasons, whether they have people who they were at school with, they want to get reconnected with, or people who are distributed across the globe who they want to reconnect with, people who have similar interests and likes that they want to connect with. So all of these trends, I think, are driving it such that it's becoming a more and more important part of their daily life. Sharing photos is a big part of it, sharing messages is a big part, content, news, whatever it might be. So it's really, really important for people.
We're seeing a lot of games and applications appearing on Facebook, and it's certainly becoming more commercialised. How do users feel about that?
Well, I think in general, what we're trying to promote is an ecosystem that allows third-party app developers, software writers to come in and build great experiences on top of Facebook. And from day one, we knew that this was the way we wanted to design the platform. We were not going to be specialists in building out verticals, be it music, travel, retail, whatever. We wanted to create a great user base so people could come in and build those great experiences. You look at games, which is probably the most mature one we have today. It's a really great example of that, where it actually provides a great commercialization opportunity for those developers, but it's also a fantastic user experience. So it's a win-win-win in the sense that it's a win for the developer because they can commercialize the stuff, get great people using or get users and many users using their applications. It's great for users because it's a great experience and they keep coming back. And for Facebook, it drives audience and it also drives engagement. So we try to promote a platform that allows us to do all of those things. We have about 70,000 developers globally now. There's a huge opportunity for us to do an awful lot more. And the reality is that whether you're Zynga with lots of resources at hand financially as well as human capital, or whether you're just somebody sitting in your bedroom developing an application, you can have massive reach, the likes of which you haven't been able to do before, and build a business around it on Facebook, and that's what we're trying to do.
Now, you're here at a telecommunications event, and the telecommunications industry is not too certain about their relationship with Facebook. It's a very heavy user of their bandwidth, of course, and their customers like it, but others are using it as a tool to bring customers along. Yeah. How is Facebook treating the relationships with telcos, and how do you see them developing in the future? Yeah,
well, I think we've seen it evolve from a position of what is this Facebook thing? How does this impact on how our users are using it? To what we see now, much more actually, and it's great for us, and hopefully it's great for the telcos too, is they're using our branding on a lot of their customer acquisition marketing efforts. So the fact that you can find Facebook, whether it's Vodafone or O2 or any of these other providers, are really starting to embed it as part of their core experience and marketing it as such. So I think to your second point, it's really, I think the mutually beneficial piece of this is that users want to use Facebook. They want to share on their phone increasingly, actually, and that mobile user sort of audience is growing at an exponential rate, which is a great opportunity for telcos, obviously, to get more users and bundle experiences and make sure that Facebook is present and it's prominent and people are coming and using it more and more. Sure, it means it's using more bandwidth, et cetera, but hopefully it provides them with an opportunity to provide more bundled services to those users. Once they're in, the opportunity to market to them across a spectrum of products is there. And it's almost the hardest part if you think about, getting the users in the first place, getting consumers to come and work with a telco or sign up to a telco is actually the hardest part. It's really thinking creatively about what are the bundle of services that I can provide to these users that are going to get them to spend more money with me and actually going to be meaningful to them as well.
Do you think you'll see the telcos utilising your commercial services to build their own brands through Facebook?
Yeah, I would love that. I mean, I think some of them are already doing it and being really smart about how they do it. We've worked with a number of these telcos already. And again, we can tell them exactly what the audience size is. If they're looking to recruit or get subscribers who are in the 18 to 25 range in the UK, we can tell them exactly how many of those people are on Facebook. We can tell them what they like, what they don't like. We can help them with their marketing efforts, with their branding. We can measure all of that stuff. So there's a great opportunity for them to do things on the platform itself through advertising, as well as if you think about the full suite of sort of commercial products we have. So check-ins as well. So again, if somebody's out and about on a high street and there's a telco retail store there on the high street, how do you drive them in? What sort of deals can you provide them that's going to get them in through your front door and signed up to something? And also even through platform. I mean, telcos should be thinking about building great applications. They could be games, but they could also be competitions. Lots of telcos do these competitions for different events. There's a really flexible set of options you can do through applications. They're very rich. You can do everything you can do on a website on an application. The difference is that it's social, yes, and it's embedded, and it's really, really measurable. So.
Well, it's interesting for my last question, and you raised the point how well you know the customer. How well do you know your customer? Because the telecommunications industry thrives on the fact that it knows its customers' behaviour very well, and it sells that, yes, to others and other advertisers as well, and other media. How well do you know the customer, and why aren't we working hand in hand, yeah, sharing that information?
I mean, yeah, it's an interesting point. I think they are really complementary. If you think about the information telcos have, it's a lot about behavior, transactional behavior, etc., location behavior, whatever else it might be. We know the social behavior. We know the things that people like, what they don't like. We know what they're interested in. We know who they're connected to. We know where they're going, what their aspirations are, etc., etc. So we actually, if you put those two things together, have a pretty complementary set that gives us a really rich set of information about user behavior. It's not clear to me today why we haven't put those two things together. I think we've each been operating on a parallel line that is sort of, inherently thinking about trying to solve the same problem. But I think there are pockets where we have actually brought those two things together and had meaningful impact. Again, especially in emerging markets where we're really motivated to have a presence. The telco's already there and wants to grow their market share, and those two things together are pretty powerful. So there are pockets of where we've done it, and I think it's a bit more joined up thinking along those lines. We're very open to those types of partnerships, and I think it represents a great opportunity for both industries.
Colin, thanks very much for bringing a face to Facebook. Thank you.
You're welcome. Thank you.